Well, all right. Welcome to another edition of Walts World with All-American Walter Luckett. We've been off for a couple of days. We all, of course, got our own regular jobs, and of course, we've decided that we're going to still continue to come on at least once a week with everyone. We still got the electric drum that myself and Walter are part of, and we interview folks from the community as well as sports stars and whatever. But of course, this way here, man, is basically all social media. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Twitch, all over social media. And so, first of all, I just want to talk to Walter about his foundation. Before we get into, we're going to be on here for a minute because we got a lot to talk about. And Walter has the Walter Luckett Foundation, and Walter, let's tell them a little about the foundation and what you do.
Well, first, thank you, Juan, for that introduction. It's a nonprofit organization. It's called the Walter Luckett Jr. Foundation. And basically, what we try to do, Juan, is take a holistic approach to education and youth development. And we kind of do that by providing structured opportunities. And those structured opportunities come through internships, mentoring, doing working with businesses that are offering internship opportunities, so our kids could not only just learn about their businesses, but really walk them through their careers. Yeah, and what I find that's very interesting is that we have about 22 business partners that really enjoy teaching our young people, and at an early age, Juan. Because if you can get this at a high school level, and then you graduate, you go into college, having that on your resume at high school gives you a lot of leverage. And most important, I think, Juan, is we're starting STEM, and STEM is a real important part of the future. And we've been blessed to have Unilever as one of our biggest sponsors. Our research and development team is one of the best in the country. And they've offered throughout the summer, basically shadowing and workshops to talk a little bit about STEM and the importance of it, and the importance of purpose for our scholars to really do well in the classroom. So I'm really proud of that partnership. And most important, our relief program, they've offered thousands and thousands of dollars of products so our people in the communities could apply it to their health. And I think that has been really a plus in our community. And that's something that I think needs to be recognized. Blumenthal, our senator, said Unilever is a hero to the community. And I really believe that. Obviously, being an employee there for 25 years, I'm proud of that association. And Juan, with your support as well, providing internships for our students, realizing the importance of communication, we're really broadening that. And I think that's special too, because our young people need to know the importance of communication. Communication is truly essential for this country, particularly with all the things that are going on today.
Yeah, and I just want to also mention to our folks out there that these internships that the Walter Luckett Foundation offers during the summer, they're paid internships. So these young people come into a company like mine, for instance, right here at WYBC, and what we do is we teach them broadcasting, and they're able to come on with me for 6 weeks, and I do a training. I train them on everything radio, history of radio. We our goal is that by the end of the 6 weeks, I've trained them well enough for them to do an interview. So what they do is they find someone in the community that they would like to interview, and they go on the radio, and we put them on the radio to interview someone. And it's been a great program. We did it last year, and we're going to do it again this summer. And so this is a fantastic program. And Walter, how can folks get to find out more about what you do? Is there a website? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a website, the luckettfoundation.org. You can look it up, and it kind of explains all the programs that we have in place. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the internship program. My wife has been stellar with this project.
Yes.
She's been really putting a lot of time and effort. Lita Luckett, she's the vice president of Walter Luckett Jr. Foundation. But she's hands-on with these students, particularly these young ladies that she's really mentoring. And we're seeing some true value. And a little bit about the Perfect 10 internship program. It's curriculum-based, job shadowing. We do mock interviews. We actually do interviews with our business partners, so they really get a real life experience in what it's like to really sell yourself for a particular employment that you're interested in. So I thank you also for your support, and also State Farm, Unilever, People's Bank, and then also right in New Haven, Metropolitan Business Academy has really been a great support in terms of providing us with some excellent talent, as well as Kobe High School, Bassick High School. We really have some high schools that are really true partners and been there for quite a few years. And I want to end by saying we're really excited because we talked to the superintendent of Bridgeport, and we're now opening up our summer camps. So we're going to be basketball ready, Juan. And I'm really excited about that. We got about 1,100 kids that are going to be ready to play basketball, and we're gonna combine basketball with our academia presentations as well.
That's fantastic, and folks, just that we'll be doing a report on the summer leagues and the scores, and so we have a weekly show that we're going to highlight some of the good games that happened during that particular week, and highlight some of the players. Because look, one of the things that me and Walter talk about all the time is that, look, our kids need attention, right? The reason why we have the problems we have in our community with some of our young people, not all, and very few of them actually in comparison, right, is that young people need attention. If you pay them attention, they're not going to be going out in the streets and doing the kinds of things that we don't like. And that's what we need to do, and to highlight them and to make them feel good about what they're doing right now, right? You give them their blessings right away. You don't wait until they've graduated from college or whatever, So, Walter, thank you, for including me.
I just want to conclude also, Juan, that one thing that we got from the parent, which was a great response, was that one of our students, and we have a strong SAT training. I forgot to mention that.
That's right.
That's one of the rewards for being a good ECHO student. We have SAT training, and we had a couple of kids increase their scores 350 points. You know what that means? That means you get to choose your choice of schools. Yes. They don't get to choose you. So we were really proud of that. We want to expand on that. We want our kids to do SAT scores, and we also want our student athletes to predict to go to D1 schools. So we have a great menu ahead of us. We got a great agenda, and I want to thank you for helping us meet some of our goals, Juan. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely. Well, so now I'm wearing my Nick hat. I'm not feeling pretty good today. Let me say this. I expected more. I did. Okay. I did expect more. However, I think that based on all the years that I've been waiting, I'm okay. I think that this is the beginning of hopefully the opportunity for the New York Knicks to become relevant again, right? The crowds were amazing at the Garden. We haven't seen that in a very, very long time. Well, they had something to cheer about, okay? But we still got a long way to go. In order for us to attract the type of players that we need to have in New York in order to win, we also have to win. Right. And if you look at the Nets, which we'll talk about in a little while, that's what they did. They basically put a nice team together that people like Kevin Durant and Kyrie and James Harden wanted to come to play on a team that had shown that it belonged, right? And be in New York City for that matter, right? So again, I want to thank the players because you made my year. At least I got to watch the Knicks again, right? And feel good about it, But it wasn't good. It wasn't good against Atlanta. Anyway, go ahead, bro. What's your take on it?
Well, I think also we must compliment the new management as well,
yes,
because that's going to help the recruitment process. We got new leadership in New York. I'm sure that's going to help recruit. But we are like maybe one or two superstars away from a real recruitment program. I think Randall is a great guy, but he's not the number one option for offense. And I
Right.
think we saw that. It was easy to defend him. I'm a lefty myself, and he went straight to the left side of the basketball court, and they knew that right away, and they put a stop to that game one. Now, I will say this: quiet as kept, Atlanta has a good ball club.
They do.
Let's not downplay Atlanta's chemistry and their coach. Nick McMillan. He's been around a long time, and he's like you. He's a defensive specialist, and those guys played excellent defense. Along, and their defense improved their offense. Just think
Yes.
about it. Trey
Yes.
Young, Capella was the unsung hero. I mean, he was blocking shots, rebounding. He found a new home in Atlanta, and they had an excellent ball team, and I was surprised. I was really surprised at how well drilled that they were. But give them credit also.
Well, what's interesting is that the Knicks came into this series the favorites, which and that was because they won the 3 games during the season, right? But it was interesting for me because as I watched this series, I realized that Atlanta had a better team. They were bigger, and I think that they have more talent.
Absolutely.
And then maybe they didn't show it during the season, but they damn sure showed it during these playoffs. And I mean, and the kid Trey, I mean, come on, man, come on now.
He's a star in the makings. If he's not already there, I think also too. Think about it. Atlanta's still in the run. They're still in the running.
They're still in the run.
They're going around 2 now. So I mean, I think the key is underestimate them. They want you to, and you know what? Their defense has really made a statement, and I think it's gonna pay dividends in the next round.
Yeah. Oh no. I definitely agree with that. So we're gonna move on for the Knicks, because I don't want to deal with them too much longer. I'm gonna keep my hat on though, and much respect for a great season. So okay, so let's move on to the Celtics, who also got bounced out, right? So 3 local teams, we only got 1 left. We got the Nets. We'll talk about that. But what's your take on the Celtics in that series?
Unbelievable. I've never seen an offensive machine like that since the old Celtics and the Lakers. I mean, they were scoring at will. I mean, they had like 5 options. Every option was the first option as far as I was concerned. Kevin Durant was stellar. Kyrie Irving, I've never seen a ball handler like that in my lifetime. He is probably the best ball handler. Next to Isaiah Thomas, those 2 guys, I mean, I've never seen ball control like that. And then you had Harris, shooting the threes. It was just, and then, the bearded man came in and showed that he could do triple doubles and they could all score and they could win. I mean, when's the last time you saw 130 points on a board? It was reminiscent of the old days, Juan.
Well, let me say this, though. I think in all fairness to the Celtics fans, because I did want to talk about the Nets a little bit after. What do you think about the Celtics and their future and how they handle this series? I mean, I thought that they did as best as they could without having Jaylen Brown.
Well, Juan, I always said, and I always hold that to truth, even back when I was coming up, you have to play hard to beat the Celtics. That's their tradition. There's not going to be an easy victory. I think they were plagued by injuries. Just let's face it. Brown was a huge part of the offense. The point guard, he sat out the last 2 games from UConn.
Yep.
So it was just hard. Their nucleus was not there. I think if they had their first team, it would have been a better game. But I still think the Nets would have prevailed. The Celtics, as far as the changes in management that was announced, I think today or yesterday.
Yes.
I think it's probably essential because I think Danny's been at the helm for some time now, and they need new faces. And then Brad Stevens. I think there was a communication gap there. He couldn't relate to those players, and it's time to go. And I think they need to bring somebody in like Mark Jackson, who will go in there and they will respect Mark. Or somebody like, they got some good coaches out there. Let me put it that way. And I think that maybe give a brother of color there an opportunity to really make a statement in Boston. Because Boston, believe it or not, back in the day, was the first team to have an African-American coach, which was Bill Russell.
And the first time to have 5 black players to start.
Absolutely. So
Also,
yeah, so think about it. I think Boston has a future. I think they need to, they just need to add maybe a couple of guards to their team. But you can never rule out the Celtics. It's a solid organization.
so let's get back to the Nets, right? Okay, so our concern was defense right from the beginning. We talked about this. That I mean, they could score, but they also can't play any defense, or they won't play defense. I'm not going to say they can't play defense because defense is about effort, right?
Absolutely.
What's your take on that?
Well, look at it this way: they scored 135 points, and the team they played against had 110. So that's too many points.
Right.
So a real good team that could also play defense could probably challenge them. So I think with D'Antoni and Nash, they weren't the greatest defensive players when they played and coached. And also the team that they have, they're all great offensive players. I don't know how they manage that group. I think that's going to be the problem when you get down to real competitive. How are you going to tell those guys to start playing defense when throughout the whole year you just let them just run the offense the way they wanted to? It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah. And I think that the other issue here is that they're coming up on a team that is as a juggernaut right now, and that is Milwaukee. So here we go. The Greek Freak. I mean, we've had great expectations from him, right? He's now got, he's got Holiday now. They got him now. Middleton is definitely a star. There's no more excuses, right?
I agree.
So I think they're motivated. So this next series, I'm looking at this 6-7 games. I mean, if it's less than that, and I really believe if it's less than that, the Nets are going to win, right? You know what I mean? But Milwaukee could take this to 7 games, man.
They can, but here's my pushback on that.
Yeah,
we forget about Blake Griffin.
True.
We forget about Jordan. We forget about the kid Claxton. They got some horses, in with the Brooklyn team. I don't see any backup for Milwaukee. I mean, they're okay. They put a lot of emphasis on the Greek Freak. Holiday's a great addition, but I'm going with the Nets because they have a bench. Now, if anybody got in foul trouble, let's say if they do start playing excellent defense and people get into foul trouble, who has the second best team? Backup. I got to go with the Nets.
Yeah. And I sort of agree with you, but I mean, I still feel that as much as I'm from Brooklyn and I'm down with the Nets too, I'm worried. I'm worried about that defense, man. I mean, they got to step up. And look, man, all 3 of those guys can play defense if they put their minds to it. It's like I mentioned before, it's about effort, right? So what else? So who else we got in the East? So we got Philadelphia. All right. Talk to me about Philly. What's your take on Philly?
Philly needs to stay home. They say it's the city of brotherly love. I'm not giving them any love this time, man.
Man, David Daniels, man, you out there? You hear this guy?
I'm not feeling Philly. They lack foul shooting. They're not consistent with their scoring. Injury prone. I don't know. Defensively, they're suspect. I don't know. I think they're going to get eliminated. They're not going to make the finals.
You don't think so?
Nah.
So what do you think about the fact that they're making a lot of brouhaha, about Ben Simmons? What do you think about Ben Simmons? You think Ben Simmons still has a chance of staying in Philly?
I think Doc Rivers will trade him because anytime you gotta sit a guy on the bench because he can't shoot foul shots and he's a guard, a guard can't make foul shots. That's bad. So you and I know that. I mean, he was a liability. When you get down to 3-4 minutes and he can't make foul shots, and he has the ball 90% of the time. No, that's too much of a risk. I think he'll be traded next year. And if not, I think his role will change. You got to get a point guard in there that can get in there at the end of the game and control the ball and make foul shots.
Well, it's
You see,
amazing.
they took him out. They took him out.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look, you know, teams in the NBA will foul you at the end of the game if you can't shoot.
That's
So,
right.
so there's no doubt about that. You know, so I hope that he goes this summer and gets a shot. I don't understand it. I don't. You know, because he's got a good stroke.
Concentration. It's all about concentration.
He's got a good stroke. You know, I think concentration, and I also think it's also about routine. You know, you got to have that routine, right? And I think for him, it stops when he lets the ball go, right? That's when things change. You know,
well, I personally think, I always relate to everything that I've done as a ball player. I would take about 500 foul shots a night before I went home, not counting the additional 1,000 just around the court. So, shooting's all about, putting the work in and enjoying the work. You don't become a great shooter just by taking, a marginal day at the office. So he needs to put the work in. And you know what? It's easy. Just do the work. And then maybe he might stay. But if he doesn't improve his foul shooting, I don't think he can play for Doc Rivers.
Okay, so before I get to my other favorite team, which lost also last night, the Grizzlies, the Clippers and the Mavericks, okay? Dallas leads 3-2. Clippers lost last night. This guy, Divock, man, 40 points in 3 quarters.
He's real. And I think they
with a bump shoulder.
I know. I think he's a phenomenon. And, you got to give him credit. He knows how to play basketball. He's very mature for 22?
Yeah.
And he makes his team better. And he makes shots. When you make shots, you're dangerous. And he's making threes. I don't know how you defend that. He's maybe second and third to Curry, but he's pretty consistent. And what's he shooting over 40%, 45%?
That's right.
That's dangerous.
Now go ahead. No, you go.
I think they go to him. See, that's the thing too. It's like when your team goes to you and they have all the confidence in you, and then you instill that confidence and take that leadership role, he's really come into a great ball player.
But the other part of this also, right? See, now this is sort of like what we were talking about the Nets, right? Defense. Right. The Clippers, look, Kawhi Leonard and, Paul George, PG-13, both of them are supposed to be good defensive players.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. Well, I think also, think about it. Dallas is much bigger and taller and equally as fast. See, those guys were 6'10", 6'11",
right,
6'7", playing guard. So, it's a height factor too. It's a rebounding factor. They're not getting all the rebound. They're not getting second shots. Well, they're not getting second shots because the guy's putting the ball in the basket. But I mean, they're not really dominating the boards like they normally do because Kawhi got those big hands and he's used to even stealing the ball. But believe it or not, when you think about it, they got some good ball handlers at Dallas. They don't turn the ball over that much.
Look, the way I see it is Kawhi got to say, I got this guy, and I'm not going to let him score 40 points. That's it. So what do you call this series? Do you think the Clippers win this? You think they come back?
I think they can. But, like you said, you got to want it. And I'm not sure, Paul George and Kawhi, they're hungry. The other guys, I don't really see that energy. Do you? I mean, it's just there's something missing with that team.
No question.
So they got to get some bigs back into that organization and start playing some real basketball because you can't rely on 2 guys. And the guys are super. They're playing great. They're not cheating. They're not cheating their audience. But you can't win with 2 guys.
There you go. So let's move on to to the Lakers, man.
Wow. What a big.
You don't know what to say. You have no words.
But Juan, I think I called it AD injury.
You did.
I called that a long time ago. I mean, he has a history of getting hurt. I mean, I don't know if it's not lack of lifting weights or he needs to see a strength coach or a strength coach. I don't know, but it seems like he doesn't deliver in the big games. He's not a big ticket. And LeBron James, he's LeBron. LeBron's going to give you 150%. He played great in the last game, but he's only one guy. And also the bench. There was two guys that didn't even score. I mean,
I
that
yeah,
can't
but
happen in the NBA.
I think that coaching wise too, man. I mean, like, I think that you got some guys on that bench that need to be playing. Like for instance, like Montrezl Harrell should be playing,
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know all year long. Wes Matthews was our boy,
Hmm.
has been playing great defense and scoring and being a spark plug. And you mean to tell me that you don't start him
I know.
now?
And Pope, he's hurt, and they still put him out there. I don't know why he does that. That's a defensive deficiency there. And plus,
Exactly.
especially when you got an expert like Matthews who can play the D. I don't know. I think the coach, he has some explaining to do.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
He's got to go to the front. He got to talk to Jeannie Buss if he's going to work out another year because
Well,
they're not playing good. They're not playing Laker basketball.
well, we started out the year because we thought that the championship went through LA, and right now both of them are in trouble.
I know.
Both
Well,
of them are in trouble. So so let's go on over to Memphis and Utah.
wow. Utah's better than I thought, man. What a team. They are a well-oiled team. What their defense is awesome. Joe Beer, I love the way he blocks shots. He's reminiscent of Bill Russell. Then
Yes.
also, I didn't realize Mitchell was that dynamic. Mitchell can ball. Then you got angles. They got guys who can shoot threes over 50%. They just know how to play basketball. And then what about the kid from California that transferred over to Utah? The best six man. The six man.
Are you talking about yeah, you talking about oh man, I cannot forget his name. Hold on, wait a minute. But I but I
He,
yeah, but
he's really coming into his own.
right, yeah, because he played for LA. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. So I mean, so look, man, again, I think that Utah is so I personally think that Utah is gonna come out of the West. Everybody kept talking about the fact that they really weren't really, the record wasn't really reflective of how really good they are, but they're showing differently here, man. And I think they come out of the West at this point. What do you think?
Oh, there's no question. They're a unit. They're a real good team, and they got some great shooters. I mean, those guys shoot high percentage, and they move that ball. And let's not forget, Conley. Conley could play. I mean,
Yes, he
that guy,
does.
he's seasoned. I think he's punishing Grizzly for trading him because he is really coming in. I mean, well, he's polished. He's a seasoned vet, and he really makes a difference.
Yeah, so we got that, and of course, I think Memphis is up and coming. They need a little bit more help, and I think that next year they make some moves. I think they're going to be right there in the running, man.
Well, yeah, I think they can really compete this year. I mean, in the West looks very, very doable. Now, I will say this: I thought I was kind of like joking last year, but the Joker is no joke. The Joker is no joke. That guy can play basketball. I mean, so don't even rule out Denver. You know, there's some good basketball being played. I tell you, Booker. I was impressed with him. Right now, I would say the best shooting guard in the game right now is Booker.
You think so?
I love the well. Yes.
Well, Trey Young. Come on now, bro.
Yeah. Have you seen Booker? You see his Jaybird? You see how
It's ridiculous. But I get that. But like right now, I'm looking at Trey Young, and I'm also looking at Damian Lillard. I mean, because despite what's going on over there, this guy has been unbelievable.
Oh, no, there's no question. I'm not disputing that, but just think Booker's playing with the bigs, and he's still delivering.
True.
You know what I'm
True.
saying? That's the key. It's interesting. I really find this year great parity in the league. It's kind of exciting, Juan, to turn the TV on and see good basketball being played.
Yes, no question, no question. Well, next time that we meet, I will have my Nets hat on from Brooklyn. So I know people they say it's blasphemy. I can love two teams, y'all. I can love two teams. Unless they're playing each other, then I would have to go with the Knicks. And Walter, I never asked you this. Who do you root for? What's your team? I never asked you this.
That's interesting. You brought it up. People are going to be upset with me, but I love Golden State. I just love the way they play basketball. It's just great ball movement, moving without the ball, accuracy from the field as far as shooting, tough defense. It's between small ball and big ball, depending on how they want to work it. Great coaching. I like Golden State. I'm just a Golden State.
So let me ask. So growing up though, right? Was that what you weren't a Golden State fan growing up?
No, growing up I was always a Laker fan.
You were always a Laker fan.
Yeah, I was a Laker fan. And
really?
I think I was. You forget now. There was Mr. Basketball, Jerry West, and the big fella.
And Elgin
Baylor, and Chamberlain. They went 33 straight without losing.
That's right.
But
you growing up in Bridgeport, you got the Celtics, you got the Knicks, you got the Jersey Nets back then, and you were a Lakers fan.
Yes, I think I was a Laker fan for a lot of reasons, And believe it or not, I was a 76ers fan too when they had Chet Walker.
Yes.
Remember?
Well, that 76ers team is considered one of the best teams ever.
Absolutely.
They only won one championship, but because they broke up the team the next year,
And Chamberlain was on that team.
Exactly.
Hal Greer, remember Hal Greer?
Hal Greer, man, with the jumper. Line. Yeah, man. Hal Greer with the jumper.
Chet Walker was one man in the game. Yeah. And was it Wally Walker, was it?
Wally Jones was Wally Jones.
Wally
Jones. Yeah.
That was a bomb squad, man.
So this is Throwback Thursday. So me and the All-American are going to do a little throwback for y'all. Yeah, man. Well, listen, man. It's been a pleasure again, man, talking NBA with you, brother. We're gonna get back here next week sometime, and because this next round is no joke, brother. They're
gonna purge it, and I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Utah's there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets there. I tell you, that Denver kind of worries me a little bit.
I know you keep saying that, but but I'm gonna tell you, Milwaukee worries me. They do.
They should, but there's just something about the Greek Freak. If you stop that 3-second lane, I don't know what could happen.
Yeah, man. All right, my brother. Well, listen, man, it's been a pleasure. We'll talk more NBA next week. I'm Juan Castillo. He's the All-American. Walter Luckett, Walts World. This is how we do it, man. Keep it right here, man. Keep it where you got it. 94.3 WYBC. Of course, it's the rhythm of the city.